So here it is. This is the beautiful RT7, the masterpiece that has been released by Carp Lounge, and I am joined by the manager of the UK office, Mr. Rowan. His surname's not Rowan, he's just called Rowan. So, Rowan, I was so excited to receive it, and here's my very own one.
Yep.
What I wanted to ask you before we get into the very exciting stuff about the new tech, talk to me a little bit about the actual aesthetics of the boat. How's it changed? Is it different?
Well, we've now got the, as you know, we've now got the Cree lights and the LED lights, which you can set up yourself. And while we was doing that, we've done a bit more retooling and just revamped the top half. So it just brings it a little bit more modern look. The bottom half of the boat is the same footprint, but inside we've made a few changes. It's more solid mounts and things like that for the motors. But the reason we kept the base the same is because then our existing customers can still use their old tripod, boat pods, the bags, and all that sort of thing. So there's no need to go out and rebuy everything else. You can still set
it in that little boat pod and everything else. And then like you say, you've streamlined the lights. I've noticed the RT7 lights up. You've got these lovely lights on the outside.
That's it.
Yeah, it's just slickened up, and I suppose it looks like one of the new sort of modern cars that you see out there. It's a beautiful looking thing.
Well, that's it with the RGB colours. When there's 16 million colours you can choose from them. I know you're a big Liverpool fan, so you can, if you just go on Google and put Liverpool red hex code, you can actually go into the app, type that in, and then you can have all the lights Liverpool red.
Lovely
things like that,
Well, that leads us on beautifully to, I suppose, the masterpiece, the handset. So have a lift of that. So from my understanding of this was, for me, on a personal perspective, this was the biggest breakthrough, to go from having the transmitter box, the tablet, the handset, and a boat. You are now literally fishing with these two components, and of course your batteries. So
I mean it makes you a lot more mobile. You can get, even when you're just putting a boat in the water and sending it out, everything's right in front of you. You're looking at the echo straight away. You're rather than having to go up the bank, and you've got your tripod and everything like that. The beauty of it as well is it all charges in one unit, so there's no more charging. Your transmitter box, your handset, the tablet, all separately, and that sort of thing as well. A good feature, or a really good feature of this, is with the tablet, it's our own design, because we couldn't find anything that was bright enough. In bright conditions, yourself, when you're looking at the screen, it can wash the colours out on the echo and stuff like that. So we've had that made ourselves. It's got an anti-glare cover on it as well. And the other beautiful thing about it is, when the tablet battery goes down, when it gets to 1%, it then starts taking the power out of the controller. So there's no, you've got everything. It's 127 hours is what we quote. Obviously that's just left on, but in a real fishing situation, you've got easily a week. If you're going to France or something like that.
Really? Yeah, so what you're saying is that, is there two charging points on this?
No, it's just, you just charge it through the bottom port there, just a USB-C, which you get the lead for. You can use a wall charger, something like your iPhone charger, socket that goes in the wall and stuff like that. So it charges everything all in one go.
Oh,
so
right,
there's no need to charge separate components.
Brilliant. Well, I've got this little list of questions, right, that I've made because I wanted to ask you as a new owner of it, because I'm as excited as people out there who've not even seen it. So the joysticks, talk to me about them, because they've got a lovely feel to them.
Yeah, what we've got now, we've actually got, rather than the contacts in there, we've got magnets in there which create a field, and then wherever the joystick is, it's more precise. You've also got a double function on here. You probably already realised. You've got a full function, so you go in full force, so you got 100% of the power of the motors. You can then do what's called throttling, which if you press that button in, it then drops the power down to about 30%. So if you're trying to get it in that little hole, or you're trying to get it in that hole in the weed, rather than sort of doing them little minute, movements.
So you press it down.
You press it down. A little light comes up there to tell you you're in that mode, and then when you drive it, you've got the full control of the joystick, or full movement of the joystick, but the motors will only go about 25–30%. So it'll only trickle along, rather than sort of
thrusting.
That's it, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's fascinating. That's good to know, because I've had it before. Obviously, you're going into those little spots, or you're trying to get it. I've had it before when we're filming. We've got a drone up, and we're looking at the boat. I mean, that's the wonderful part of it, that you know, a lot of people do combine drones and boats and echoes. I love it. Some people don't, but I definitely love it. Right, so you've spoke about the joysticks. You've spoke about that. I suppose what's that setting called? The
throttling.
Throttling. Now talk to me about the software, because I know you're very proud of this as a company.
Yeah, I mean, we don't use it, you know, we don't get other people's software and things like that and all cobble it together. I mean, our designers, or our
software IT
guys, they are, without a doubt, the best in the industry. And they've got the whole thing together. So our mapping works seamlessly with the Rowan Marine. It takes all the information it needs from there to build a 3D map if you're going to do mapping, things like that. You can jump between the navigation page where you can see the boat driving and all that sort of thing. You can click straight away and it will come up a full screen of your echo, and you can click between different views of that. So you've got your sonar, which obviously shows the density. You've got your down scan, which shows your structure. You know, it's seamless how it all works, and everything on this boat pretty much is configurable to how you want to do it, which again is something we're really happy with, because you know, you can see there you've got all the different buttons on there. If you're not, you know, if you don't want L1 as your hopper and L2 as your right hopper, you can change it around. You know, every button as well has got two functions, sorry. You've got a click and you've got a long press, and it's all configurable in the app, and it's so easy to do. You know, it's just a matter of pressing a button. That's what I want to do. Click, OK, save, and you've changed how you want to use it. So if it's not what you want, you can certainly make it to where you do want it.
So that's great to know. You can quite simply customise all the buttons to do what you want, and that's all within the app on the actual handset.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, if you long press of the R3 key will bring up all of the functions of the boat, and then you can change it through that. You've also got a QR code. If you slide this out, there's a QR code on the back of the hand control, on the all-in-one controller, which you just scan with your phone. It will bring up the interactive manual. I say interactive because, you know, it covers every aspect of the boat, from literally turning it on right away to doing mapping. But if there's something you're reading, it's, you know, you think, well, I'm not too sure what that means, you literally touch on that little word or sentence, and it will take you to another part of the app, of the manual, and it'll just explain that, and then you can go back and carry on. So, you know, you don't have to sort of get boggled by science and stuff like that. We've written it in a very straightforward, easy to sort of read and understand style. Basically, like the boat, you know, the boat itself is so easy to use. Everyone thinks, oh, you know, it's going to be really, really hard because, you know, this thing's all special, but we've made it so it's just simplicity itself, because of the technology allows us to make it simple, even though the technology is really, you know, it's really up there at the top level.
Yeah, and I think people, anyone buying into the Carp Lounge brand will understand they're the people that want that extra layer of technology. But if you want to use it as a super basic bait boat, and just swim it out, drive it out, you can. Or alternatively, if you want to get to layers of understanding it, which I've actually got here with some of my notes. Obviously, you know, for a long time people know the echo sounder is absolutely brilliant. Tell me, what type of echo sounder is it, and what are the variables?
Well, you've got the Rowan Marine Elements Echo in there, which is their latest version. As I said before, you know, you've got your sonar, which shows you the density of the lake. So you're going to find, you know, your hard spots. You're going to try and find a silt laying over the top of hard spots and stuff like that. You then can go into the down scan, which shows you the weed and structure. So you'll see, you know, if there's branches down there and things like that, they really are clear and come up really well. You've also got something called hypervision, which I don't know if you've come across. So when you press that, just to be a bit technical and a bit boring, but the down scan is 400 hertz. When you turn on the hypervision, it's 1.2 megahertz. So what it is, it's actually 3 times as powerful. So once you click that on and see it, it's just, you know, it's another level of crispness, what you're seeing under the water. So
when I usually use it, I have it split 50-50. So I have the normal, is that what it's called?
Sonar.
Sonar on the left, which has got his colour, and then I have after speaking to you on the phone, I use the hypervision. So is that a good combination?
Yeah, definitely, because, you know, you can see, You can see patches of weed, for example. You know, you're seeing the actual, you know, the strands of weed, but then you look at the sonar and you can actually see the density of that weed. What might look to you think, oh, that's okay, it's not that thick, but when you see it on a sonar, it will tell you whether it is or not. You know, because the darker red it is, the denser it is. So if you are going to fish up to it, you've got to be really, really clipped up, you know, that sort of thing, really tight. But it just gives you that sort of knowledge or extra knowledge, you know, of under the water and what you're seeing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I absolutely love it. All the places I go to, I mean, that echo sounder, it's such an important part of my fishing because I love having that added element.
Yep.
And I mean, I'll get onto the GPS and the autopilot, but on the echo sounder then, a lot of people ask me, can you see fish on it, right? Yeah. So I know you can see fish on it, but I've always said to people, the best time to actually spot fish with an echo sounder on your bait boat is actually in the colder months when they're more static.
Less active,
But in the summertime or other times, you see sort of shooting marks and different things.
Well,
is it different on the hypervision?
Well, this is it. When you've got on the hypervision, you know yourself. You know they look like a banana. Sorry, on the downscan, they look more like a banana.
Yeah.
There's having a light flashed on top of it, so they'll be whiter on the top, and then they sort of get darker and a bit fuzzy. When you turn that hypervision on, you're seeing the pecks on it, the dorsal. You know what ways of fish. We've got pictures that customers send us in, which are absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
You know, you can say, well, that one's a mirror, that one's a common. You know, it's really, really mad. You know, you can really tell the difference. It's a different level.
Absolutely amazing. So obviously the world famous GPS and autopilot. Talk to me about that. Obviously locating any lake in the world, wherever you are, you're going to pick it out, and then also the fact that you can use the autopilot. It's all in that handset.
Yeah, well, we've now got what we call offline maps. As before, you used to have to sort of download a Google map. It would cache into or it'd stay in the tablet for about 7 days. But now, when you download it, it's 2-3 months. So you know you can connect this to your home Wi-Fi or your hotspot on the phone, on your phone when you're at the lake, and then you just open it up and it will bring up that map for you, the lake map. So you've got a proper detailed, you know, like we are here. You know, you've got the islands, you've got the pads and all that. You're going to see all of that on there. So when you start doing routes and mapping, you know where the routes is to get to the other side, where not to go with the mapping, because you know there's a big lily pad bed out there, so you can go around that with the mapping. And again, the mapping, everyone thinks, oh, it's a raster. What's a raster? You know, it's really, really hard to do. If you can use a phone and touch the screen on a phone, you can do the mapping. It's that easy.
Yeah. Well, that's something I need to learn because I've yet to do the mapping on the RT7, so I'd love to know that. And of course, as you say, the autopilot, like the V4, a couple of button presses and you can get the boat to do what you want it to do, whether you want it to dance on the spot, sing you a song, and of course drop your hook bait. And,
I mean, again, there's different ways of saving your spot. You can drive it out. You can, you know, you're looking at the echo. You go, right, that looks good bit to me. You can save that spot. The spot will come up as a little waypoint. You can then touch, if you want to do it this way, you can literally touch the screen and it will come up, drive here. So you can put the boat in the water, touch that, drive here, boat just goes straight to it.
And the same as setting a home mark to bring it back to a safe distance away from your rods.
That's it.
Where you can then bring the boat, navigate it through your lines.
Well, that's one of the features we've added to the all-in-one controller. You've now got this button, again, configurable, so if you want to change it. But out of the packet, the default setting, if you do a long press, you drive your boat to where you go, that's where I want the home point to be, you know, a rod length path past where your lines go in. Press that will save a home spot on your screen.
Without having to type
Without having to type anything. You can drive the boat out, like I just said, you know, drop the boat out there. You press that button again, the boat turns around, comes back.
Ooh,
so there's
like
no,
that.
you
Typing.
know, so you can still be looking at the boat, still looking at the echo. You know, you'll get used to where the buttons are. You know, that's the beauty of it as well. You know, it's so, you know,
compact in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it, love it. So talking of the fancy stuff with a handset as well.
Yep.
The final point on it is, if you talk about leaving it out in the rain and stuff, but actually if you drop it in the lake, what happens to the boat?
Well, we've been asked this a couple of times because obviously before you had the handset separately from the tablet, sorry. So you know, if you drop one in the water and you couldn't get it back, then obviously you've got the other components to drive it back with. So, but with this, The beauty of this is if you drop this in the lake, say it's 8 foot, you can't get it out, because obviously it is waterproof, you can't get it out, and the boat's sitting out there, you know, 200 yards out, after, I think it's about 5 minutes, if the boat hasn't received a signal, it will automatically turn around and come back to the last place that the all-in-one controller was turned on. So,
Germany.
You know, Germany, yeah, well, yeah, it could be. But, you know, you stand in front of the rods, the boat's, you know, you're not worried about, you know, especially if you're in a big reservoir or something like that, it blowing across, it will come back, and as it gets to 25 metres out from the boat, from the position of where it was the all-in-one controller, the boat will drop down to 25%, and it will literally just crawl in. So as it's coming in, you know, you can just pick it out of the water, because, you know, it doesn't know where to stop, so you will have to just reach in and grab it. But it's better than the boat disappearing.
Definitely better definitely than the boat disappearing. So I think we have covered the coming home, the handset being dropped, mapping.
Mm-hmm.
Before we finish this lovely chat and let people look forward to coffee with you at Carp Lounge HQ in the UK, anything else? Have we missed anything? I've got my last little notes here.
You got the just one little nice feature on the when you drop the your rig, you know, obviously open the hopper. If you remember on the V4, you'd get your lights flash. With this, you can have the colours of the LEDs on the back flash a different colour. Okay, so you know what sides, you know what side you've done, but also how many times it flashes. It's just, it is that configurable. You know, you can literally do whatever you want with it.
So brilliant to hear about that. Now, obviously, I'm a geezer. I've gone and nicked your boat. Talk to me.
Right,
You've now got some real proper good safety features, logins, protection to stop people nicking these boats.
Yeah, I mean, you know yourself, there's a lot of tackle theft and stuff like that. What we've tried to do with this, because the technology allows us to do it, we've made it, what's the word?
You put a cobra inside it.
It's sort of like, no, it's, that sort
Pops
of thing.
out
Yeah,
the
that's it. A bite, that's it. Yeah, we've made it less attractive to steal, because when you first initially get your boat, you know, because you came to the shop and picked it up, the boat itself doesn't actually work. So what you have to do, it's simple again. You literally connect this tablet to the internet. You open up account on the app. You type in your account. If you haven't got an account, it's literally, you know, just email and a password. Okay, so you log that in, press the button, turn the boat on, and the boat will talk to the handset and it will turn it on. Okay, then your boat will work. The really good feature about this is every 30 days, it will cut itself off again. Reason being, which people think, oh, that's a bit annoying because I've got to keep logging in. It takes 10 seconds to go back in there, type in your email and do that. The reason being is if your boat gets stolen, you know, say they nick it after 2 weeks of being turned on, 2 weeks time, that's going to be completely dead, that boat. They can't do anything. Yeah, they won't be able to do anything.
Their spot.
Yeah. It'll be a very, very nice doorstop. That's all it's going to be. You know, because everything in that boat is logged, all the serial numbers and everything like that. We've got the tech to do all that. Yeah, it's fantastic.
And then another interesting thing, I love data, I love statistics.
Yep.
Talk to me. This thing is a stats builder, is it? It's a stat.
Yeah, there's a button on there or a little thing that you can just touch on there. It will tell you how long the boat's been turned on, how long the motors have run, how many times the hoppers have opened, how many times the spirals have turned, all of that sort of thing. Again, which is, you know, you might think, well, yeah, okay, that's a bit sort of, you know, we don't really need it. But if you're going to buy a boat or to sell your boat, it's the same as selling a car.
Yeah.
You want some sort of record and say to the customer, look, this is how long it's been used, and the customer can buy it with confidence, knowing, you know, that the
mileage is not as high as that.
Yeah, it hasn't been spun back by half a daily, so.
Absolutely incredible. The fact that this very compact thing, and actually I've seen you playing with it a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, talk to me. This aerial, what?
Yeah.
That final point on this.
Well, this
no big aerial.
No big aerials anymore. Yep. So what you've got here, you've got 3 aerials in here. You've got 2 for the GPS and 1 for the Echo. Now, as long as that is pointed flat towards the boat,
like this,
like it is there,
you don't logo proud.
That's it. Yep, the Carp Lounge along there. So you don't have it up like that because you'll be shooting it up at the sky. So you have that facing the boat, and then your aerials. The other thing with this controller is it can be left out in the rain if you know, for whatever reason you
decide you want to leave it out in the rain.
If you're crazy, but you know, say 3 o'clock in the morning and your head's not quite with it, and you've left it out there. Don't worry, because it is protected from that. You know, you can even slide the tablet out.
Ooh.
You can sit in your bivvy. So you can sit here controlling the boat. You can leave this out because obviously this is the transmitter box as well.
Yeah.
So it has to be in view of the boat. Yeah. So you can, you know, in
theory,
can
autopilot off that.
You can autopilot off that. So this goes back to how it was on the V4.
Oh, so you can then control it.
You can control it on there as well.
Yeah.
You know, you can do all the functions from there, which you can still do on the handset and your all-in-one controller.
But can you play your Xbox with the handset and control your boat with the tablet?
No, unfortunately, that's going to be an upgrade.
Absolutely brilliant. So now one of the things I wonder is, and a lot of people will ask, if they want to buy the boat and they want to, what's the process for a customer or an interested customer in going through it? What's the best process?
Well, there's a number of ways to do it. I mean, obviously, we've now got the UK store down in Essex, so you're more than welcome to come in. You know, we're open from 10 o'clock in the morning to 4:30 every day. So you're more than welcome to come in because people like to just finalise, you know, they've looked online, they've checked everything out, but they just want to finalise, am I buying the right bit? Am I buying too much? Am I not buying enough? So they can come in, have a nice cup of coffee, we'll sit down and we'll go through everything with you.
Do they get biscuits? Or
there's no biscuits, but the coffee, we've had compliments on our coffee. So, but you also, you know, the younger generation, they've got they don't think twice about spending this sort of money and doing it all on the internet. So, you know, you can just place your order directly on the web shop. On there, or again, if you can't, obviously, you know, if you're up country or something like that and you can't get down or can't get away from work, you can always phone us. You know, our guys are so knowledgeable; they know every aspect of the boat. What we do first, we find out what you want the boat for. You know, is it just a little 48-hour sessions? Are you sort of doing 1-2 weeks in France and things like that? And then we'll advise you on what we think is suitable for your style of fishing and what, you know, extras you need with it, or less of extras you need with it.
Do you upsell gap insurance?
Yeah.
So no, I mean, for all intents and purposes, and I think it's a great investment for those that want to spend that sort of money in their fishing, and and of course they want that customisable
individuality.
Of course they do. So they're going to come in and almost like buying a car, they're going to want to put those alloys on it and put that in.
Well, this is the beauty of the, you know, because again the technology allows us to do it. All you need to worry about is what motors you want in it, what battery system you want it, and what colour you want it. Because everything else about this boat, even our upgrades, they're software upgrades. You know, you can literally be sitting in France, you're sitting with a guy, you know, a guy that you've met, and you go, oh yeah, look, you know, I've got the
refrigerator.
Your refrigerator, the 3D Real Vision, or I've got the Structure Mapping Pro, and you go, do you know what? That's a bit of me. You can literally go on your phone, buy it on our website, go into the app again, open up, go into your account, refresh license, and it's there. Sitting on the bank in France. You know, so it's with German company, we thought we were.
Of course they have. So here it is, the RT7 in all of its splendour. Mr. Rowan has taken us through an A2 RT7 of the boat. I absolutely love it. Superb. Well done.
Thank you.
Get in touch with this man. He makes a lovely old coffee.
Nice coffee.